We're all familiar with what a city is. It's that big concrete jungle made up of thousands of buildings filled with millions of people, us being one of those people. But to some urban planners and conceptual engineers, these cities are just too, well, boring. Welcome back to the channel. As global issues in the housing crisis and the ever-looming effects of climate change force humanity to adapt, the world's greatest inventors and engineers are working on cities that will guide us into the future. In this video, we're going to take a look at a few of these futuristic cities and see what they're all about. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. Telosa, USA. Starting us off is a futuristic city that plans to incorporate nature into its very design. Bjarke Ingels, an architect from Denmark, has been master planning Telosa with his studio BIG for years. The city is designed to house more than 5 million residents and is set to be built from the ground up on a site in the US desert that is yet to be disclosed. How mysterious. The man behind the idea is billionaire entrepreneur Mark Law. Mark is the founder, CEO, and owner of the Wonder Group, a market-leading designer, manufacturer, distributor, and retailer of celebration products and services. In other words, it's a company that's worth a lot of money. Mark hopes that his latest personal project, Telosa, will become the world's most sustainable city. It's a huge aspiration, but a noble one nonetheless. Part of Law's vision is that the land will be owned by a community endowment. This means that any increases in the city's value could fund its development, with resident welfare as the priority. Loosely based on the principles of Ebenezer Howard's Garden Cities in the UK, Telosa would have a density of about 33 people per acre. That's about the same as San Francisco. Number 9. The Line, Saudi Arabia. Chances are you've probably already heard about Saudi Arabia's Line City in the news or on social media. The Saudi Arabian government recently unveiled visuals of their plan for a 170-kilometer-long, 500-meter-tall linear city, which has been planned as part of their neon mega-development. Despite its extreme length and predicted population of 9 million residents, the line will be no more than 200 meters wide. That's about the length of 4 Olympic swimming pools. Its proposed transport system will be capable of connecting both ends of the city in just 20 minutes. Wouldn't it be great if all public transport could get you to your destination in 20 minutes? The line was designed as a rebuttal to the traditional circular urban layout that's used to plan cities. The Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman says that the line will be a model for nature preservation and enhanced human livability. The designs that have been revealed so far showcase a city with vertically layered communities, challenging the traditional horizontal and flat cities we're all used to. The Saudi Arabian government says that the line will tackle challenges facing humanity in urban life today, shedding light on alternative ways to live. Number 8. The new administrative capital, Egypt. Egypt is taking matters into its own hands by constructing an entirely new capital city that will house up to 7 million people. This comes as part of the nation's effort to relieve congestion in its current capital, Cairo, which has experienced rapid growth for the last few years. Designed by SOM, the architecture firm has produced a master plan for the privately funded project. The new administrative capital will span 700 square kilometers and will feature one of the largest urban parks in the world, once it's been built, of course. The project is also set to include a government administrative district and a central business district, as well as a center for innovation and various cultural attractions. SOM plans to design more than 100 residential neighborhoods to fit amongst the natural topography of Wadi, made up of ravines that fill with water during the occasional heavy rainfall. SOM believes that this naturalistic approach will offer up a sustainable new city that not only supports a burgeoning economy, but that protects the local environment. Number 7. Biodiverse City, Malaysia. Here's another incredible city designed by BIG, who decided to do a play on words for its name. The Biodiverse City is set to be built on 1,821 hectares of 3 artificial islands off the shore of Penang Island in Malaysia. Each of the lily pad-like islands will house between 15,000 and 18,000 residents and will be connected to one another using an autonomous transport network with no cars. Buildings will be made primarily using a combination of timber, bamboo, and concrete sourced from recycled materials. What's more, each district will feature an ecological buffer to support biodiversity in the region. The overall goal of Biodiverse City is to create a global destination that will facilitate the cultural and economic growth of Penang Island while also protecting the nearby coasts and forests' biodiversity. The first island in the city's master plan is called Channels. It will include an area for research and government institutes, the civic heart, and the cultural coast district. The main attraction of this island will be a 200-hectare digital park. The second island, Mangroves, will be Biodiverse City's central island. Here, the city's business districts will be housed, with the Bamboo Beacon at the center. Bamboo Beacon is set to be a facility for major events and conferences. The third and final island will be called the Laguna, and according to BIG, will be a miniature archipelago. The Laguna will be made up of 8 smaller islands organized around a central marina. Sounds magical, doesn't it? Number 6. Smart Forest City, Mexico. Designed by Italian architect Stefano Boeri, the Smart Forest City will be, as the name suggests, a smart city near Cancun. The plans are for this city to contain 7.5 million carbon-soaking plants and trees across the area's 557 hectares of space. The Smart Forest City will be designed to house 130,000 people in affordable, plant-covered homes, and like many of the other cities on this list, aims to pioneer a more sustainable way of living. According to the city's designers, Smart Forest will be a botanical garden within a contemporary city. The city's architecture is largely based on Mayan heritage and its relationship with the natural world, which the Mayans considered to be sacred. Boeri's studio says that Smart Forest will be an urban ecosystem where the city and nature are intertwined, acting as one organism. While acting like an organism might not sound like the most enjoyable experience, there's a lot to like about Smart Forest City. For starters, data in this city will be managed with, and I quote, full respect of the privacy of the citizens. This is particularly important after the onslaught of Facebook data coaction. Boeri's firm also says that among the city's other possible benefits is the preservation of the spread of diseases, as well as making the most of energy use. All in all, the Smart Forest City sounds like a great time. Would you visit? Number 5. Amaravati, India. On the banks of the River Krishna, India's city of the future will act as the new capital for the country's Andhra Pradesh state. Amaravati will be arranged around a needle-topped government building and will see more than 60% of its central district populated by water and greenery. In other words, there will be pretty plants everywhere. India plans to have a governmental complex running through the center of Amaravati, stretching 5.5 kilometers in length and 1 kilometer wide. The city will feature ribbon-like lakes weaving around boulevards lined with trees. The central expanse of greenery and the city's urban grid will be reminiscent of New York's Central Park and Edward Lutyens' designs for Delhi. Amaravati will also feature a legislative assembly building, which will be surrounded by a freshwater lake at the center of the city's green spine. Square in plan, the public entry to this city will be to the south, while the ministerial entrance will be to the west. The assembly chamber, which is set to hold ministerial debates, will be built at the southwest corner. According to Vastu principles, this area is considered to be the most auspicious. The city's designers, Foster & Partners, says that Amaravati's design brings together their decades-long research into sustainable cities. The city incorporates the latest technologies currently under development in India. Number 4. The Maldives Floating City, Maldives. The name is kind of a spoiler here. Rising sea levels caused by climate change mean that much of the Maldives is, unfortunately, expected to be uninhabitable by 2050. Thus, the idea for the Maldives floating city was born. This design comes from the country's partnership with Water Studio to design a floating city that will house 20,000 people in a lagoon near the country's capital. And this could be happening as soon as 2024. As the name suggests, the idea behind the Maldives floating city is that it, floats. Built by the city's architects as the world's first true floating island city, the city will include 5,000 low-rise floating homes built on a series of hexagonal structures that will rise with the sea. The floating city will have artificial coral banks attached to its underside, which will not only be pretty to look at, but will help stimulate natural coral growth and repair the surrounding ecosystem. The living platforms will support houses, shops, hotels, restaurants, a school, a hospital, and a government building. Pretty much everything a city needs to be, a city. Each residence will be 100 square meters and will feature a jetty attached to its front and a terrace on its roof. The development of the Maldives floating city is set to be fully completed by 2027. Would you live here? Number 3. The Orbit, Canada. Up next is another futuristic city in the category of Smart City. The Orbit is planned to transform a Canadian farming town through the extensive use of drones, fiber optics, and autonomous vehicles with development decisions based on big data. The Orbit aims to develop the small town of Innisfil to a city of the future with a host of new technologies, while maintaining the existing lush setting and agriculture. Advancements will include the introduction of a fiber optic network, which will be used to provide connectivity across the development such as sidewalks, buildings, and streets. Data collected from this system will then be protected by the appropriate privacy policies. So if you do choose to live in the Orbit, you can rest assured knowing that nothing untoward will be happening with your information. The Orbit will span over 450 acres and will include a state-of-the-art health and wellness campus. These facilities will be connected to larger hospitals in the area using technology, autonomous driving infrastructure, and even drone ports. Sounds futuristic. Number 2. Innovation Park, USA. Innovation Park was an idea born from the mind of Jeffrey Burns, a cryptocurrency magnate who plans to develop part of the Nevada desert into a smart city powered by blockchain technology. Whoa, that was a lot of big words. Basically, Jeffrey wants to build a city powered by untraceable money. A blockchain is a set of digital records that track transactions publicly and chronologically. These decentralized ledgers, not tied to one specific authority or government, facilitate cryptocurrencies like Ether and Bitcoin. Burns made his fortune selling his Ether tokens on Ethereum before their value absolutely plummeted. Now he plans to use his money to develop the remainder of his land into a smart city, set to be, in his own words, a new kind of business and residential community. One of the major benefits to a city like this is that it offers greater control of privacy of personal information. For example, if you lived in Innovation Park, you could bank, vote, and store your data within the blockchain and not have to involve the government or a middleman company. So if you're passionate about your privacy, consider securing your spot in Innovation Park, which is currently still waiting for approval. Number 1. Chengdu Future City, China. It only makes sense for us to include this city. It literally has the word future in its name. The Chengdu Future City was designed by OMA, a Dutch architecture firm. It is set to be a car-free master plan for the capital of China's Sichuan province and is designed to challenge the conventional urban planning models that are driven, unintended, by road networks. Once this city is complete, it will occupy a site of 4.6 square kilometers, focusing on the land's rolling topography as its basis. Chengdu will feature 6 distinct zones that will blend into the surrounding nature rather than separating itself from it. All of the buildings within each zone will be accessible by a 10-minute walk, though there will be a smart mobility network that will use automated vehicles to connect the city to the rest of Chengdu. You've made it to the end of the video! As a reward, here's a little fun fact about urban planning. Did you know that the entire street grid of Manhattan, probably the most important gridiron in city planning history, was planned, surveyed, and mapped by a single person? That person was the ambitious, energetic 20-year-old gentleman named John Randall Jr. That's right, Manhattan was made by a 20-year-old. Which of these cities of the future would you want to live in? Sound off in the comments below. If you liked the video, consider clicking the thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel. And to never miss a new upload, be sure to hit the bell icon below. Until next time, ciao!